Welcome back, everybody. This is Byron Johnston here, starting strength coach based in the United Kingdom, and welcome back to the Strength Club podcast. Now, in this episode, you're just going to get myself. The reason for this is we have got quite a bit to get through in these form checks. Thank you so much for sending videos in for us. But every time I coordinate one with one of my great co-hosts, there's a little bit of a delay as we set that up for you. And I appreciate you sending these in. So I'm just going to get stuck into some of these today for you. We'll have a look at some videos together. As always, you can comment if you see videos coming up. You're very welcome to comment on this or ask any questions. And you can contact me as well via strengthrevolution.org if you want to reach out to me with any questions or anything's not clear. But for now, let's get stuck into the latest round of videos then. Okay, so the first one is from William. It's a squat video. We've all got squat coming on today. So this is William, and he says, I'm new to the program. Only my eighth workout for the NLP so far. That's a novice linear progression, and looking to deal with some form problems before I get too far. None of the gym belts fit me. I have one being made and it's on its way. The weight on the bar is 225, so it's about 100 kg, 225 pounds. And he says, I've noticed that the bar speed slows down. Okay, all right, let's get the video playing. You probably get a bit of audio on this as well, but I might take that out sometimes. Let's have a look at what William is up to. Okay, William, here we go. All right, I'm going to just move this box down here, this player box. This might be out of the way now. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to have this kind of replaying as we go through this. So here's what I'm seeing with William. Let's look at the setup again. Now we don't have William getting under the bar, and it is hard sometimes to tell when you're looking at videos if the bar is too high or just right on the lifter's back. So I'm gonna assume it's okay. I can't see the reflection in the mirror to some that sometimes will give it away. I think it is William. If anything, it might need to come down a bit, but if everything's comfortable there, leave it where it is now because we don't have a better diagnostic on that for you. And I think one of the main things I'm seeing in the lift that we want to work on for you is the breathing and the bracing. You did mention that you're getting a belt sorted out, and that will really, really help you once you've got that. Okay. So at the minute, I'm sort of hearing like a little breath here. I don't know how tight you're getting in your abs, but I can see you're becoming a little bit horizontal on the way up here. And sometimes, even as to get yourself out there, you have to kind of pull your head up on the way up here. There, I didn't hear any breathing at all. I'm gonna listen closely on this one. Yeah, and there. And so to me, you kind of so in your structure of your body, William, you look like a little bit loose, and I think I'd like to get you a bit tighter. So if it feels like you can snug the bar a bit lower on your back, go ahead and do that. So as you get under the bar, you'll just slide up just a little bit more. But even if it stays in this position here, then just make sure that every single time before you go to squat, I want you to take a breath in and just squeeze your shoulders back together, like you're wrapping your shoulders around the barbell. Okay, you look like you've got a pretty tight grip position here, so that does look pretty good to me. But I just feel like we want to secure that bar position and the upper body bracing. So it may feel like you're picking up your chest, squeezing tight here. You take the breath in. So this is all of your setup before you squat down. And it feels like I'm saying a lot to you now, but this will become automated after a couple of weeks of just doing this. Okay. So think of this as the breathing and the bracing. We definitely want to have that because getting tight like that, William, will mean that you can drive force into the barbell. It means that you're less likely to have this kind of feeling that you've got to kind of pull up with your neck or your head to get out of the squat. So that move there where you kind of looked into the mirror and kind of this kind of thing, it will help you prevent that. It will help you feel that the force transmission is better in your body so that you can drive out with your legs. That's the hip drive we're talking about, staying leaned over as you come up, okay? I see this slight kind of rounding that you get into as you come down. Again, this is all symptomatic here, this kind of very smoothness of the shirt as you're kind of rounding over a little bit here. This is all symptomatic of that kind of breathing and bracing, all right? So if we just help you get a bit tighter there, It's going to mean that you can confidently drive up, staying leaned over, not have to have that panic of bringing your head up here. And I think it will help you preserve the back angle as well. And you also mentioned, so I noticed the speed slows down. Again, with tighter bracing, you get better force transmission. You'll feel better able to drive the bar up. Now, I'll be honest with you, once that belt arrives, get that on you right away. But William, you've got to make sure you're doing the Valsalva technique properly, because if you don't have that, then you won't really get the full benefit of the belt. Okay, so you might want to jump onto starting strength on the main website and just look into the Valsalva a little bit more. But what we're looking for there, and again, you'll do this when you get under the bar to unrack, and you'll do this before each and every rep. Okay, so big breath going in, all right, down into your tummy, and you're going to tightly squeeze your abdominal muscles. All right, squeeze them tight like I was going to slap you in your tummy. That's the kind of bracing we're talking about here. When you've got the belt on, it's going to feel like you can crunch down really tightly against that belt, and that's what's going to help you really pressure up here. Okay, when you're next doing a video in the future, just if you can, get the camera back a bit further as well, because one thing I was looking at for you is trying to assess if your stance could have been adjusted at all. I don't I think sometimes if a stance is too wide, it can prove tricky in you getting down to the depth. Yeah. Now that one, it looked like you, from what I can see here, that looked like you did come down to depth. But as the set moved on, I think sometimes you're possibly missing some depth there. I'll try and hit pause here, so you might be cutting it somewhat. Again, if you can get the camera back a bit further, we can assess that a bit more for you. My feeling is your stance probably is a bit wide, but it doesn't need a massive adjustment. So you might only be bringing your heels in a little bit closer together by an inch or two either side, and from there you will still shove your knees out. Okay, so think of those things like the stance, the breathing and bracing. This is all setup related. Okay, once you've done that for a couple of weeks, it will just be automatic. The slightly tighter stance, the discipline of the breathing and bracing, and then you can just get stuck into thoroughly driving into the barbell. Hopefully your new belt's with you by then, and you can start to enjoy that squat. Okay, so you've got a few things to tidy up here. Um, I think you'll get these, William. All right. Good luck in the lifting. Again, drop a question if you're not too sure. You can always reach out to me with an email or comment onto the YouTube thing. If I miss that for any reason with the podcast, I do. Again, just drop me an email through my website, strengthrevolution.org. Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next lifter then. So we're going to welcome AJ. This is AJ who sent a video in. He's filming from the side here. Let's get the video playing so we can have a look at what's happening with AJ. You guys can start to see that. All right, so I think you should know as you watch this. His is what AJ's written in for the podcast. He says he's feeling pain in the left shoulder when trying to get into position. Okay, now the thing is, we don't know if this was always the way AJ was kind of getting into the barbell position, or if this has arrived since the discomfort, AJ. Yeah, so sometimes people get a bit of discomfort and then they start moving in a certain way with whatever the causative factor is. It affects movement patterns, okay, as a response to discomfort. And sometimes it is the thing they're doing in the movement that can create the issue. All right. The other thing with the left shoulder is, this is knowing if it's come from something else. And I notice it when I'm going to squat as well. So I don't know if there's anything happening outside of the gym, outside of training or in another lifts that's kind of sensitized that left shoulder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on probables that I see in this video, and we'll think that it's probably coming from here. But AJ, if you think it's actually something else and you're feeling it here, then that might be like, again, a separate message or another video, just reaching out a bit more so I can help you a bit more there, or get an SSC on board to help you. And again, if you're concerned about things, then remember there are starting strength coaches who are also physiotherapists, or they say in the US, doctors of physical therapy, so DPTs. And if you're ever not sure, these are very powerful resources to reach out to, and you can find them on the directory. So you go to startingstrength.com, just go into the directory and you can find them through there, and they're extremely helpful, knowledgeable people. All right. So I don't want you feeling stuck if I don't answer it here for you based on the limitations of, what we've got to look at. All right. So AJ, let's talk about this then. So your elaborate kind of like swinging into position could be an issue. All right. This isn't normally how we get under the barbell. So you're trying to target the bar onto your back. And it looks to me like in this process, AJ, that you're coming to the position, but then I think here you're continuing to almost go past the position you need to be in. Again, in the gym, what I would do with you is I just walk up straight, kind of behind you. I'd get a very clear look at your back. And if you're making videos and you have discomfort on one side of your body, guys, this goes to any of you sending in videos here. If you have a problem on a specific side, film from that side. That's as coaches, that's what we want to see. Let's look at the problem side. Okay, so at the minute I've actually got AJ's right side, and he's identified that it's yeah, it's on his left side. So we'll do the best we can. But the main thing I think I'm seeing is kind of getting into position there. Um, and I suspect that the bar, AJ, it might be ending up too low on your back. Okay, even here you're kind of having to slightly kind of hinge over before you even start the squat to kind of keep the bar where you need it. And my gut, and again, I can't see it because you can see here the plate blocks the view. So, but my gut feeling, kind of looking at as I trace the bar down, is it might, I'm wondering if it's too low on your back for you. All right. So again, look, if I hit the stop on the tape here, can you see that, guys? So that's almost on the back of his arm. So, AJ, I think what we've got here most likely is a situation where you've got the bar a bit too low on your back. You're trying to secure it on your back, and as an attempt of doing that, that's what's kind of caused this discomfort or this wrenching in your left shoulder. All right. So I think we're dealing with a setup issue under the bar, but that's what it looks like to me. Um, so what I think we should do is as follows, all right? When you're filming next time, first of all, let's get a look at the barbell on your back. Okay. So at the minute the camera's on the ground. So for your film, even if it's just for you, get the camera up higher. If you've got it in like a case or on a stand, try to at least have the camera at about hip height. And get the camera looking at the rear 45-degree angle. All right. Now, as it's your left side, put it on your left side, the rear 45, and get a good look at where that bar is. My suspicion, I think everyone's nodding along with me that the bar looks like it is too low on your back for you. All right. So here's what we're going to do, AJ, to deal with this problem. Okay. You'll take your grip on the bar. I do think it's a bit wide, by the way. And I want you to desist from this very elaborate kind of swinging around the bar like you're doing here. Okay, what I want you to do is to stay much straighter in your legs. And I want you to just bring the bar so it's deliberately on the top of your shoulders. And now that's too high. I know what you're saying. Just put it on the top of your shoulders initially, okay? Without all the big swinging and hanging low, okay? So you're just gonna kind of lightly duck under the bar. You're gonna press the bar so that you feel your shoulders, it's directly on top of your shoulders, all right? And you're going to do this smoothly and carefully, no big dramatic swinging actions. Once the bar's there, what I want you to do is as follows. I want you to very carefully squeeze your shoulders back together. This is going to tighten the shelf of muscle behind you that we want the bar to sit on. That's the back of your shoulders, what is anatomically the posterior deltoid, okay? You're going to squeeze this back together, and those muscles behind you are going to kind of bunch up and form a shelf. All right. And now, with them in that position, you're going to start slowly sliding your body up against the barbell. Okay. Slowly and carefully. And what you'll find is, as you do so, the bar is going to catch on that shelf of muscle that's on your shoulders here. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure there's either a video or a good couple of articles on this, and I'm pretty sure that one of them was by Pete Troupos. That's Troupos. Pete Troupos is an excellent starting strength coach in Orlando, and he's put some content. I'm pretty sure about this on the starting strength articles or videos, so you can get hold of that. All right. So you're going to slide up. And that will give you some more information and some more diagnostic pictures, I should imagine. All right. So you're going to slide up carefully, AJ, as you feel the bar nicely sit on that kind of shelf of muscle that you create from the back of your shoulders. All right. And it's probably going to feel higher to you than it has been. You might even think, is that correct? Yeah, probably it is. Okay. So you're gonna catch it on that shelf of muscle there that it will feel like it doesn't want to go any further. And then I want you to stand it up and unrack it from there and then just proceed in your squats from there. Okay. Um, do you need to do a deload of weights? Possibly if you feel that it's warranted. I'm not against it. Um, if you can get away, if you immediately do this with the current weights you're using and it feels just immediately better, AJ, just carry on. Okay, just carry on. It's most likely that was the issue. All right, you had the bar too low on your back. It has happened before. I've had people come to lifting camps when I coach camps around the UK, and this comes up. And these are good lifters, but they didn't spot this and this caused them an issue. All right. So I suspect the bar's going to be a bit higher on your back in the way that we discussed earlier. In the start position here, AJ, just stand up tall now. No bending the knees. Just stand up tall. Get yourself ready and then squat down from there. Okay. The depth of your squat is good, so we don't have an issue there. Just carry on. Let's fix this. Start position issue for you. Okay. This is about the depth you want to come to, AJ. Crease of the hip, just below the top of the knee. All right, and you just come back up from there. All right, see if this clears up the problem for you. I hope that really helps, AJ. Thank you for sending in the video. And for anyone else watching, this might be quite illuminating for you as well. All right, okay, let's get on to the next lifter now. So we got James. Um, James James has not put any written notes in for us that we're looking at. So I'm going to get this box out the way here. This is my little play box there. So we'll just have a look, okay? We'll see if we can see what's going on. Now, James, we're discussing filming angles a second ago with AJ. This is a good example where I don't know how busy your gym is. What you really want to do is ignore what you can see in the mirror when you're filming and really go off of what your camera shows you with just ideally all of your body from the head all the way down to the feet, definitely showing the foot position. That tells us a lot of information. And I think the angle, the rear foot, you've got that. You just needed the camera further back, right? And if you can't get that, then on your camera settings on your video, you often get like a 0.5 setting where it will kind of zoom it back for you. Even just go with that one, okay? So I think here, James, I think, and again, this is a disadvantageous position for a coach's perspective, but it looks like you are stopping too high. I'm looking at the crease of the hip here. I think you're stopping too soon on the depth. Okay. Now, again, if you do that at Wichita Falls at the seminar, that's the first thing they're gonna snag you on. Okay. So they're gonna want to deal with that right away. All right. Otherwise, we don't really have the squat, James, if we don't have that depth. All right. So you want to make sure, like we just looked at the video before. So you just saw AJ do this. I hit pause on that video. That side angle is a very useful diagnostic for depth. You want to bring the crease of your hip. Okay. You can see you've got a pocket on your shorts. So the top of that pocket, just down below the top of your knee when you're viewing yourself side on. Okay. So I think you're cutting these off a bit early. All right, you need to come down lower. Your safeties will probably need to be one setting higher. Okay, I think your safeties are a little bit low for you. So raise the height of your safety. So you don't want that on your mind. If the safeties aren't properly set, it can kind of mentally mess with you, and you think you kind of got no backup. Yeah. So you always want to set your safeties, guys, so that you're just not worried. If it happens, we don't worry about it, right? We don't worry about that. Okay. So James, your big job is going to be get the depth sorted out. Okay. Now I can see the bar is rolling on your back. So some of the comments I mentioned in the video before to AJ about like getting tight around the bar, standing up tall in the start position, I want you to go ahead and do those. And you may find, I suspect, again, I can't see, I don't know if you put it, no, there's no note, so I can't see the total load that you've got on the bar. But what I can see is, James, I think you're kind of a bit rounded over. The bar's kind of pushing you down. So in a squat session, I need you to dominate the barbell. Okay, I need you to be in control. All right. Now, if this weight is an issue, we are going to need to just do a little reset here. All right. Again, it looks like it could be 100 kg. You might have a third plate on there. I don't know. So be prepared to take some weight off the barbell to the point, to the degree that means that one, when you're getting under the bar, you can stand upright more and it's not pushing you down. Okay. You need to take control of it. Secondly, when you commence the descent, the description we looked at and we talked about just now and we looked at in the video before about that depth, I want that. Okay. That's the depth I want to see. All right. So just make sure that you are getting those two things dealt with. And from there, in your training, you can start to load back up again. All right, you can start to reload from there. If you could, I do think you need to fix the camera angle, James, because again, I'm missing stuff here, and I don't want to miss these diagnostics for you on a form check like this. Again, we might have a stance adjustment that needs to be made here, but I don't want to make that call now. I want you to fix these bigger issues first, and then maybe just throw in a video in a few weeks' time. You can resubmit that. You can also go direct. You can do a James, you can do like a thing straight through the app as well. I don't know what the cost on that is. You can request a paid form check, and that's another way of getting it locked in as well. But if you're happy to wait, then by all means, load another video in. I hope this has been useful for you with the main things you need to work on so you can get stuck into your training. And I think that's important for you, James, because when it's like this, training like this doesn't feel good under the squat, right? The squat can really mess with us up here, and this feels like if I was in the room, I think, oh man, this wouldn't be like you wouldn't be enjoying the squat very much. It feels like it's kind of beating you down rather than you being in control of it. And so a big thing for me, James, in coaching is get the lifter feeling confident when it's the squat. Get them confident under that barbell. That's what I want for you. Okay. So go ahead, apply these tips. Hope they're very useful. Questions, things that don't make sense, you can always, like I say, do other messages or comment in the box on the YouTube thing there. All right, and we'll try and pick it up from there for you. All right. Okay. Let's move on to the last one to look at. This is Nicholas. I believe from his email address, I think Nicholas is in France. Or certainly of French origin by the looks of his email address there, and he just says, "Hi, I'm just beginning. I'm I think he's half of the book. He's done about 10 sessions. I know I don't go down enough for the squat, but I fear I cannot get up as it already happened. Okay, so Nicholas had a situation where it sounds like he's failed a rep, and that's not pleasant. All right, not under the squat. He says, "How do I fix that?" All right, well, let's get this video playing. Let's have a look at what's going on. Okay, let's have a look here at what Nicholas is up to. So we can see something already that we don't normally see with the barbell. Nicholas will discuss that in a second. Let's just see the movement going on for you. Okay. All right. So definitely, Nicholas. There's multiple things happening here. I'm sure the more experienced lifters of you looking at this might be thinking, if you were in a room coaching Nicholas, like how would you manage this? How would you give feedback for the lifter? And Nicholas, what I think we need to do here is you've actually got quite a bit of work to do. And I think this is around about 110 kg. I don't even put a note in. Oh, no. So it's a fairly heavy weight. It's a fairly serious weight relative to your body weight. So you'll definitely be noticing this. That situation you had where you didn't get a rep, it's not great for you. Okay. So what I think we need to do a few things for you to just really help you out. Okay. So the first thing is let's get the equipment right. All right. Ideally, Nicholas, I'd like to desist with using this pad that is on the barbell. We don't really use these in barbell training. Yeah, we don't really have this on because we don't want something really in between us and the barbell. Okay. And you're dealing with control issues of the barbell and the way that you lift it. So you don't want a piece of equipment that's going to give you some issues there with how that feels and how that makes the whole lift perform. All right. So it may feel wrong to you to remove that pad. It may feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I want you to take time to go to YouTube, and I want you to go on to starting strength on YouTube and look for the squat free. It's about 3 or 4 minute tutorial, which is all about learning how to squat, or the teaching of the squat progression. And I want you to watch that. Ideally, Nicholas, I want you to watch that multiple times, because we've got major different things we need to change and sort out for you so that we can get you squatting confidently. All right. Now back to the equipment. So I'd like the pad off the barbell so that you can really feel what you're doing with that barbell. Okay. That will mean that when you get under it, Nicholas, you have to, the things I've been discussing earlier, and I hope you watch the other clips, you have to get your position set properly. You have to acquire control of the barbell. That will mean you have to do that. You can't have the pad kind of sorting things out for you. You're going to have to do that so that the muscles are set properly. You don't get any kind of irritating discomfort there. And the barbell then is on your back with nothing in between you and it, just your shirt. Okay. Now, I don't like this rack, if I be honest with you, Nicholas. If you have choices in your gym, I want to get you in a rack that has ideally hooks that you can set the height of, but at the least, I want what we call safeties. And that's the arms that come out of the rack here that you can set the height of that we were just talking about in that last video. So that if you have a problem on a rep, the barbell can go onto the safeties and there's no risk to you. There's no risk to anyone else in the gym. And more importantly, it's not on your mind. You don't have to worry about if you have a problem because you can just put that barbell down and it's off your mind, okay? And that's important when you've had a situation like you've had and it's started messing with you psychologically. And guys, the squat can, oh God, it can do this. It's happened to me, all right? And I'm an SSC and I've had these issues in the distant past. So let's get you in a rack. If there's another rack in the gym, Nicholas, that has those safeties, I want you to squat in that rack. Okay. If you go in to do your session and let's say you're going to do, I don't know, squat, press, deadlift, and that good rack, someone's in there already lifting in that rack, then I want you to do your workout in a different order. You go ahead and deadlift first. All right. Deadlift first. They get out the rack. Now you can get in there and you can press and squat and bench and what have you with the safeties on. Now, if we have a situation, Nicholas, where your gym has no good racks in it, in the town that you're in, I'm not kidding when I say it might be time to look for an alternative gym for you to go to. Okay, because we got to get you in a good rack that is safe to train in, that is going to support your training, and it's going to enable you to confidently do what we need you to do. Okay, and I don't say that lightly, and I know you don't want to have to leave a gym membership, but that might be a serious option if that's not already in the gym. The other one that I personally love as well is a home gym. Okay, if you don't have that, let's just get some equipment in, put a home gym in for you. All right, I've written an article, like a kind of a tick list article on my website. If you go to strengthrevolution.org and you just go into my blog, you'll see fitting out a home gym. You see the list. There's not many things there. That will at least get you started, and we can get you on target from there with stuff. So these are all options. Okay, so this is the equipment side of things. We've talked about you going and looking at videos so you can see how the squat should look. And basically, what we need to do here is you're in a situation where one, you're not coming down to the depth of the squat to get the training effect. All right. So this is definitely going to warrant a kind of a complete reloading of weights. I would take you all the way back to just 60 kg empty barbell, then maybe 50 kg, 60 kg. And the first thing we'd do is we'd get you down to depth and we would get you leaning over. And so right now, Nicholas, you are very, very, very upright, and we need to basically we need to completely reprogram the movement pattern for you. And what I would have you do initially, and you can do this right away as you watch this, by the way, is I'd have you just at home and with a mirror side onto you at home. If you've got like a full length mirror at home, that's great. Stand side onto that mirror. Take your squat stance. All right, put your hands together like this, and then I want you to lean over. I want you to squat all the way down. In the videos that we looked at, crease of the hip below the top of your knee. Okay, there's no barbell, it's just your body weight. Your hands are together like this, and with your elbows, I want you to put your elbows inside of your knees and just shove your knees out so your knees line up with your shoes. Okay, you're going to come all the way down so that the crease of your hip is below the top of the knee with your knees shoved out. And I want you to then look to the side at the mirror and see just how much more leaned over you are. Okay, just how much more leaned over you are when you come down. That's what it's going to look like when you're squatting properly with the barbell. Okay, so you're not going to be able to achieve that right away with this kind of weight and with this kind of equipment setup. If I put you into that situation now with this load, I think you'd have a failure of a rep, and it would be honestly, I don't say it's likely to be a real problem for you, and I would never walk you into that situation. Okay, I would. So what we need to do is get you watching that video, Nicholas. Have a look at how it should be, and I want you to go back to the empty barbell and just start reprogramming the movement pattern. Okay, and you can practice at home with the body weight drill we just discussed. If you've got the blue book, you will see that being done in the squat chapter of Starting Strength third edition. So that is a very helpful resource for you to have. But at least watch the video. You're going to get rid of that pad. You're going to sort the rack out so you're in a reliable rack that fills you with confidence to train in. Okay, with the rack set appropriately for you. So the safeties from when you squat down to the proper depth we discussed are going to be no more than two hand widths away from where the barbell is. That's how close it's going to be if you have an issue. All right. And I know it's a big project, and I know you're going to hate taking all that weight off and kind of starting again, but that's what we need to do with you. So I would take you all the way back to the empty bar and then maybe put a pair of tens on, see if you can do it there. Then I just start adding weights in 5 to 10 kg jumps and keeping the form. All right. And this might take you 2 or 3 weeks of doing this to get your confidence back, to get the form looking properly, and to go from literally from 40 kg back up to 80 to 100. That's fine. It will be what it will be. But Nicholas, I appreciate for, anyone watching knows this is a big job. There's a lot of work to go on here. It's absolutely worth doing it. I'm glad you sent the video in today, Nicholas. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for letting me comment on this for you. And I would say, if anyone who's watched today, if you do need more support, again, you can message me through strengthrevolution.org. You can send direct videos. Again, you can do what you've done here and resubmit one, but again, it's going to go back into the chain, and we'll try to catch up with them as quickly as we can. Or you can request paid versions of form checks as well. So those are all the options in front of you, but we're happy to help. Thank you again for sending them in. I hope you're enjoying Starting Strength. I hope this has been very useful for you for the information, and we'll get back to you if ideally as quickly as you can. You may need to tag me in if you comment on YouTube. You can tag me, and I'm Strength Revolution Coaching on YouTube, or you can alert me other ways, and I'll help you out from there as best I can. Okay. All right. That's everything from today. So if this has been helpful, if you're finding this is useful, please subscribe to the channel, give us a like. Just give me a positive comment to say you enjoyed it. It was helpful. That really boosts things as well in terms of feedback and stuff as well. It lets me know we're on point for you. And I hope this has been most useful for you today. Again, thanks for submitting the video through, following using the Starting Strength method, enjoying it, benefiting from it. Please share it with other people. We get as many people under the barbell as we possibly can. Thank you very much, everyone. This has been the latest episode of the Strength Club. All the best. I will see you for the next one. I'm Byron Johnston. Happy to help you out today. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye for now.